Hi, this is Thomas with Believe in the Run.
This is Robbie with Believe in the Run.
This is Megan with Believe in the Run.
And Robbie just did something with his fingers, but we're not going to say what because apparently those words can get you in trouble.
Sounds NSFW, dude.
I know.
It wasn't the shocker.
And you're listening to you're listening to us all die. You're listening to The Drop, your weekly podcast for running buddies to hang out with and talk about running and other stuff. So welcome back.
We're barely hanging on over here.
Yeah. Let's run down the symptoms here. Robbie, what's going on with you?
I'm okay in the moment. I had a debilitating headache yesterday where I had to go home early and take a nap, which not the worst thing.
Did you roll out like a mat and sleep on the vinyl floor, or was it like an adult nap?
No, it was an adult one. It wasn't a...
Was it on the couch? Like, did you make it up to the bedroom, or?
Yeah, I did. Because my oldest kid has been sick for several days, and he was on the couch. So it's quite the.
It just looked like a triage.
Yeah. And then I don't even know what's happening with Megan. I haven't seen you in a week, literally.
Yeah, and I'm barely hanging on. I've had like this crazy cold flu symptoms for like almost a week now. Well, I started feeling bad before I left for LA. But then when I was in LA, I was like, oh, I think this was just like a little cold. I'm getting better. And then I came back and it got like exponentially worse.
Did you get it from me? Because I was like on the podcast last week.
Probably.
But I think
I didn't have the same symptoms.
I feel like maybe this is like the second tier thing is just something new that I got like in the West Coast
in LA
or something.
Stacking diseases on top of each other.
Yeah.
So she had me driving around this morning looking for COVID tests. And
so I tested negative for COVID, so that's positive.
Although I wish you hadn't, because I had it recently, so I'd be good in that department.
I kind of almost just wish I knew what was going on.
Because she doesn't have
it.
Yeah.
But also, like, they used to hand those out for free. They're $25 now.
Yeah, they'll get you.
And guess who's the sponsor or the manufacturer? Think 6 stars.
Pfizer?
Abbott.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
right.
Bought.
I had one of those.
Yeah.
I threw all mine out because I was like,
my favorite thing is like on the test thing. It's like even if you test negative, it's like with symptoms, probably still positive. It's like, did you test 3 times and one was slightly positive? Positive. Like every scenario is like you have COVID.
Yeah. It's at the point where I don't. It's not like I care. Like I don't know what I'm gonna do with that information, other than just I want to feel better about myself. Like I can blame it on my poor running performances.
Yeah,
I can blame it on COVID instead of just a normal everyday sickness. So it's like if I quit running for a week, I have a valid excuse.
Yeah. Well, this morning I tried to I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do like the normal routine stuff. I got up, I packed the boys' lunches. And then I went upstairs. I was like, Thomas, should I just walk to the patient first or should I go for a run? And he was like,
okay.
Well, any advice I gave her, she started getting mad. So I was like,
just tell me what to do. So I get dressed and try and go for a run. I made it like half a mile and turned around. I was like, no.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You should just instead of relying on Thomas's advice, just get a magic 8-ball.
Oh, okay.
That actually
might
work.
Yeah. What happens.
I mean, that's basically what it sounds like the COVID test was.
Yeah, same thing. Only we
chances
paid
are.
$25.
Ask again.
Yeah. You could buy at least 2 magic 8-balls for $25.
Okay.
So if one fails, you can use. You have a backup.
You shake it until you get the answer you want, right?
Yeah. I think that's how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. At least when I was trying to figure out who I was going to marry when I was younger.
I thought that was twisting an apple. You twist the top of the apple and the letter it comes off. That's the initial of our first name.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh, that was a big thing in my school.
Wait, like an apple.
You know the stem on an apple?
Oh, and you
twist the apple and you go A, B, C, D.
I do vaguely remember that.
And then if it popped off, you're like, you're going to marry something. It's kind of weird because you never get to the end of the alphabet. So like if you had a name.
Oh, Zane is screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas was never the one that was coming up.
Yeah.
It was always like
Annie and
Aaron. Yeah.
Annie
Fred.
And Christopher. Dude, Annie and Christopher had an arranged marriage since kindergarten.
Yeah.
That is
Apple
crazy
twisting.
that basically that's how it used to work. They just twist apples and that's in the village. That's who you're marrying.
Hey, I mean, it's better than what they're doing now, talking behind a wall, getting married at first sight and stuff.
Married
true.
at first sight or not at all.
Yeah.
Is that the Love is Blind?
Love is Blind is the one where they're in boxes and they talk to each other.
Pods, I believe they're called.
Pods.
Yeah. That's the modern version of boxes.
Yeah. Go in your box and marry someone. Yeah.
When they throw someone into solitary confinement, you're in a pod now.
Yeah.
It's not a.
Look, the premise was really nice. Like you fall in love with someone without having the physical element there, but then it turns out people care what you look like.
I'd rather do it the other way around. I'd rather pick somebody on looks and then figure it out.
They stay the same. But then, so has anyone from the original Love Is Blind seasons
definitely not
stayed together?
I don't think so.
Oh. But
Maybe
some of the
like
Bachelors are still together.
Oh yeah,
right?
that show's real. That show's great.
I mean, it has a mild success rate, right?
Yeah.
So, speaking of roses, you were in California, Meg.
Were you trying to?
I was trying to detach to the Rose
Pasadena,
to the
Rose Bowl.
Pasadena.
Yeah.
She wasn't anywhere near there.
Yeah, but
California's pretty
I
big.
know what you were trying to do.
I was like, there is the Rose Bowl, and there's also another stadium out there.
The Coliseum.
Candlestick Park.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that still exists.
Candles? No, that's now that was the Giant Stadium, which is what is that now? AT&T? I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah, so Nike invited me out there last week, kind of like suddenly, like a couple weeks before the trip, and they didn't give us a whole lot of detail.
Oh.
But they sent over the hotel we'd be staying at, and I was like, I will see you there.
Yeah.
Because it was really nice. It's called Shutters on the Beach.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Shutter Island, though, was a movie where a dude went insane. So I was a little afraid that when Megan went out there, she was going to have some sort of break with reality.
You didn't know if it was on the island or land?
Yeah.
There was this crazy weather while we were out there, which apparently doesn't happen very often in Santa Monica, but it got like very windy, and to the point where like when I was out running, there was like just wind or sand like pelting you in the face along the boardwalk.
Nice.
It happened
Sandy
to
El
coincide.
Nino.
Yeah, it happened to coincide with my workout, which was perfect.
That's crazy because it was so windy here for the last couple of weeks, and then you go out there and it's still windy.
Also, it was warmer here than over there.
All right, nobody cares about the weather. Why don't we say why you went out there for Nike?
Okay, so we did some cool stuff. It was primarily to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Joan Benoit-Samuelson winning gold in the 1984 Olympic
The first
marathon.
time the women had an Olympic marathon.
Yeah. So it was iconic for so many reasons.
They used to think your head would fall off if you were a woman and you ran 26 miles.
Yeah.
Well, what's really funny is, so after she ran the first mile and a half or whatever, she'd been running for 7 minutes, and the broadcast was like, this is the longest a female runner has ever participated in a running event in the Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Because that was, they didn't have any
didn't
other
do
long
5K
distances.
or-
No.
okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I just assumed that like there's still the track events, like long distance track.
Yeah. Wild. So it was pretty crazy.
1984.
Yeah.
This is why I have such a problem with like
Time?
Yeah, like when people assume we know all these things about science and life, and we're at the best point of human history. I'm like, dude, 30 years ago, a woman couldn't. They
They thought our uterus would fall out.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wild.
I guess it's 40 years ago, but whatever.
But yeah, so in the lead up to this incredible dinner that we had to celebrate Joni, they like really made like this awesome event for a bunch of media people, if you will. We were it was a really like diverse group of media, like not your traditional like.
I mean, there was a lady from Headspace,
freelancers,
from the
yeah.
meditation thing that I use.
But anyway, so they took us to the Nike offices in Santa Monica, which are huge and very cool. And they let us all have a custom styling, which I have never done before. But
And they stalked you first.
yeah, so they had this this woman who was a stylist, and she looked us all up online, and like based on like, you know, like what we looked like and stuff, she created what she thought would look best on us. Whoa. So I walk into this room and there's like photographers, stylists, seamstress, and then it's just me, and I am like the center of attention, and they're like, put on this and this and this and match this together, and I like walking out like the most not Megan like uncomfortable
but that's what
thing,
I kind
but
of
also
like.
the coolest.
I actually kind of like that about it. Like, I know from like if I go to Lululemon with you and I'll see like a colored tight and I'd be like, oh, that looks kind of cool, and I know you have 25 black tights. Maybe you try a different color tight, and you will never do it. So like when I saw the pictures, when you sent me the pictures and stuff, I was like, this is great. This is a softer side of
I
me.
need to. Where's the pictures?
She won't let you post them to the podcast, though.
What do you mean?
Would you let him?
The ones that I have on my phone.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. I thought you meant the one that you sent me the picture, and you're like, you better not post that.
Oh, the bathroom selfie I took? Yeah. Maybe not.
Okay. Robbie, if you go to her Instagram, in the one with the palm tree, and you swipe, you can see her in her thing. She had like a powder blue, like crop top turtleneck.
Mock neck, yeah.
Which just seems a weird combo, but it worked.
And they just I don't know, put on like various things, and they gave me like this vintage Nike tee that I actually wore to the dinner, and a like oversized sweatshirt, and just like stuff I wouldn't normally pick out. But
and
it was
some
just,
casual stuff
cool.
like that. Vomero, was it Vomero?
The Vomero 5s, which I'm obsessed with.
That's cool. Yeah, I like that.
So that was a very cool day. And then that evening we went to Blue Ribbon Sports. And they basically cleared out. Sorry, I couldn't get you a shirt because there wasn't like a store.
That's
it was
good.
set up for like cocktails and happy hour, and bracelet making, which you saw there. And then the next morning, we all went for a run on the boardwalk, which was super fun. And we were all, because we had all had the custom fittings the day before, we were all in like decked out in Nike gear. And then that evening was the dinner, which was maybe the coolest thing like I've ever done.
I have to say, when you described the tunnel, that was like something I was like, oh, I wanted to experience, because you could almost tell it would be emotional.
Yeah.
So like, why don't you just run people through what that was?
Yeah, so they bussed us out to the Coliseum, which is where the finish of the Olympic marathon was in 1984. And we're greeted by Coach Bennett, which, if anyone doesn't know Coach Bennett,
he looks like Robbie with a baseball hat on.
Yeah.
Not quite as cool, but yeah, close.
He's Nike's quote coach. So
yeah, he's a legend.
I mean, he's been on the podcast. I love him. He's great. He's almost like a little Zen man of running.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just got a very good energy. Anyway, so he greets us and is giving us the background story on Joni, which like I had forgotten how much she had been through right before the race. Like, not only was she not a favorite, but she wasn't even expected to really start because she had surgery not long before.
Oh, wow.
And she just wasn't in like her top shape, quote. But so they walk us through the tunnel that she runs through to the finish line. And inside the tunnel, they have video footage of her running and the broadcast, like, so for each mile, so you start at mile 1 and then it's like 5, 10, 15 throughout the tunnel, and in each mile marker is the broadcast of what they're saying during that time when she's running. So they're like, why is she going out so fast? This is a mistake. Like, all of these like doubtful commentators the whole way through until you get to the end.
And I'm guessing these weren't female commentators either.
No, there was not one female commentator. And we're walking through with Joni. And so she's seeing all of this,
dude,
too.
That's crazy.
And I want to put a caveat in here.
Gosh.
So a couple things, like hearing the rundown and everything, you get it, because if you've ever met Joni, she is about as raw and unfiltered a person as you're gonna get. She just, I mean, we had the pleasure of driving around when she was at Donna one time, and you know, it was fun because she just doesn't hold back and gives you everything. So to be able to go through the tunnel and be with her to kind of watch it, did it give you a different perspective on her, or did it just reinforce the thoughts you already had?
You know, I was just so overwhelmed with like, just, I couldn't believe like where we were and what we were doing. And I mean, Joni, she seemed emotional. She didn't like get emotional. Like I didn't see any tears.
Do you think
or
she's
anything
seen
like
it
that.
already?
I don't know.
I'm going to guess they showed it to her before they walked.
I don't know though, because she was very captivated. Like watching her watch and reading what the commentators had said, like she was definitely like, I think it was almost like reliving it for her.
Did you, I mean, it looked like they did it mile by mile, Robbie.
Yeah.
So it was like everything. Did it make you want to run through that tunnel?
Yeah. In fact, it was funny because Coach Bennett, one of the first things he said, he's like, you're going to want to lift your arms at the end of this. So he's like, and it's okay if you do. But yeah, it was just such a cool experience. And it is such a good reminder in running in general, like, because when you're running, those commentators are basically your internal thoughts, like a lot of the time, where you're like doubting yourself. You're like, how am I going to do this? This is probably a mistake. I shouldn't be going out this fast. And then to watch it all come together and her to just absolutely crush was so cool. And it was just like, yeah, I mean, it's a moment I'll never forget for sure.
So you pop out now onto the field of the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And what do you see?
A custom 100-person dining table across the way. They have someone shucking oysters down at the bottom and people walking around with trays of like organic wines and drinks and everything.
And this is a football stadium. That's where USC plays football.
But I think it was built for the Los Angeles Olympics in 1984.
That I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Sounds about right. Isn't that where they did like the Lions and stuff? Coliseum.
Yeah, and they did a lot of Christians got eaten there.
That's in California, right?
Yeah,
it might come back around.
Well, for the movies, that's where it.
Yeah.
And so all of the big screens too inside the stadium are all Joni running.
Oh, that's sick.
So and like you have
really?
you have like the Nike swoosh coming over every once in a while and then all the athletes are there. So they had they brought in like Shalane and Gabby Rooker and Nell Rojas, Keira D'Amato, who I got to sit next to.
You sat next to Keira D'Amato at dinner?
Yeah, so Cheyenne
eating pine cones
from Nike. I kept like asking her questions because like they didn't tell us much. And I'm like, so where are we going? Who's going to be there? And I saw Keira posted in her stories that she was going. And I was like, so Kira's coming? And she's like, I may have seated you next to her. And I was like, what?
That's crazy.
And I thought she was kidding. And then when I walked up to the table, okay, so this is another crazy part. You walk up to this beautiful table and you have a nameplate, like a setting for yourself. And in the chair is a painter's hat like Joni wore for the race. And then
a check for $20 million.
and a custom embroidered Nike jacket with your name on it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's got that big swoosh with a big run on the back.
And a bandana with a box.
Yeah, what? Did you ask Cheyenne what that was?
No, I didn't.
What? How did you not ask? Oh my gosh.
Mine's still in the box. Like, I haven't unwrapped it.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
So then of course dinner was incredible. They had like, I don't know, they just kept bringing out plates of food and it was all so good.
So
and
a lot of people follow Keira D'Amato on Strava and she always has one-liners and jokes and stuff like that. And we've had her on the podcast several times, but you said that during the dinner, nonstop.
Like I was literally laughing so much, like my abs hurt. She's just such a like also humble. So the women across from us were not familiar with Keira, and they asked like what Keira was doing there, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a runner," and she starts, and she starts talking about how she had just gotten back into running, and like she tells her like story like when she first came back into running, she would run for like 3 minutes at a time. Like doesn't even mention that she's like a American record holder. So I had to like chime in and be like, so here's the real deal. Keira is massively impressive. She broke the American record in the half and the full marathon. And everyone was like, whoa. But like she didn't even mention it. Wasn't even going to.
But that's the diversity of who was invited to this dinner. Like you had people who don't
clearly have no idea about the world of running, Nike running.
And didn't they announce that they're bringing back?
Yeah. So, and then the big announcement for the evening outside of obviously celebrating Joni was that they're bringing their women's race series back in 2025.
Okay. Was that I don't really know when that was or when that ended or whatever.
I want to say it ended maybe like
COVID?
No, before that.
Okay.
I want to say like 7 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
I wonder if you'll get invited to any of these new events.
I'm hoping so.
Yeah. That's cool. So then what is the race series? Is that just different cities in America?
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what it used to be and if it's going to come back the same, but it was basically just all women's races in like major cities in the country.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I kind of support that. Like even we have there's the women's classic here in Baltimore, but guys will run it and stuff. But I'm like, why not just let them have their own?
Yeah, I like it.
Like you not have to worry about.
You don't have to start like a later time, have a second finish line that apparently some races they don't roll out for the winner, like the Annapolis half marathon.
Or just, those guys that need to be, show you that they're out there in front of you.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, first check-in. I was thinking about this on my long run, like how you get excited to sign up for an event or start something new. And that first stage is pretty exciting. You know, you throw it on your credit card, you tell your friends, you get everybody around you, hey, I'm going to do this event. And the excitement's there. And that's the first stage. And now, if you're doing a spring marathon or whatever you got lined up, you're probably in a different stage. And it's probably that stage where some of that excitement wears off. And you're thinking, why am I doing this? And you just have to rethink your motivation, make sure you stay strong, but know that it comes and goes. And when I check in with you next time, we'll talk about the next evolution of this process. So enjoy.
So it was just such a cool experience, and yeah, really grateful for Nike for having us out there.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to see. I'm glad it doesn't feel like they've done a lot of activations in the last couple of years. So it's good to see. I think it's good when any of the brands are bringing people in, kind of like showing you behind the scenes and kind of getting you pumped up, getting people emotional about the event. Now, you're obviously a runner and you run marathons, so I can understand that the Joni journey through that tunnel would be very impactful. If you're somebody who, like, say, didn't know who Keira D'Amato was, do you think that experience still would impact you?
100%. Like, there was just a lot of emotion in that tunnel, even if you weren't a fan of running. Like, because we were told the story of Joni beforehand by Coach Bennett, you understood what was happening.
Yeah.
So like you knew the story, and it was just cool. I also got to see 2 cool shoes that Nike's coming out with that we can't talk about yet, but they're exciting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like that.
I know. Like just a tease.
Yeah. That's super cool.
So what'd you guys do while I was gone?
Get into trouble.
Yeah. It's I don't even know where to begin.
Well, before we go there, I had a question for you, Robbie.
Okay.
My shirt drawer are overflowing. I have 2 in my bureau. I have 3 drawers.
You have 3 shirt drawers?
No, I have 1 drawer that has underwear in it, and then 2 drawers with t-shirts.
Okay. Where do you keep your shorts?
I just fold them and throw them in the closet. But
Like you have a shelf in the closet?
yeah, I probably. Okay. But it's like if you saw my closet, you'd open it up and it just looks like.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
I probably need to do like one of those California closet things or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I can't seem to throw out t-shirts, and I was wondering between t-shirts and old underwear, which is easier for you to get rid of?
Old underwear you never get rid of. You just keep it going until there's no threads left.
Just a waistband?
Yeah, I would say no, t-shirts are the hardest to get rid of for sure. I have so many t-shirts, it's absurd. Like I have bins
Have
full
you
of t-shirts.
ever thrown out a t-shirt and then been like, geez, I wish I had that t-shirt back? Like a old concert t-shirt?
No, so that's the thing is that I literally cannot throw them out. Like, because, and here's one of my number one reasons is when I was growing up and, you know, you're a teenager. And
you weren't
like
allowed to wear any graphics?
No, I wanted to like raid my parents' closet for like cool older stuff, and my parents weren't cool when they were younger, so they didn't have cool stuff. My dad had like one members only jacket, like that was it. And so I want to hold on to all my, you know, early 2000s American Apparel tees, stuff like that, because when my kids are teenagers, if they want to, maybe they don't, I'll have this awesome like collection of old band tees.
Like a time capsule.
Yeah. Honestly, for real. Yeah. And that's really why I like holding on to them. Because I know I'm not going to fit into them anytime soon.
My grandfather was a sharp dresser. Mm-hmm. And after he had passed away, like they were going through his clothes, I was taking all sorts of stuff. I was like, oh, that hat, yeah, that jacket, let me have that. Cool stuff. But yeah, I just was noticing, like, I'm like, I physically can't throw out my t-shirts. And I know, like, I'm like, I'll look at one, I'll be like, I haven't worn that one probably 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, but you know, someday.
Yeah, no, I have like a Sufjan Stevens tour shirt from like 2004 or 2005, and I'm like, there's no way, like I can't, it'll never fit me again. But I'm like, I can't throw it out.
Would either of you be upset if someone else threw them out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'd be like, why did you touch my stuff?
I mean, I even went through my Marie Kondo phase where I was like, minimalist cleaning out everything. Like I got rid of like all my books, which was insane and like a very hard thing to do. Not all of them, but ones I didn't care about as much. And I still couldn't. I can't do the t-shirts. Like
I think I just need to go.
They bring me joy.
I need to go through.
They spark joy.
The drawer and realize like if I haven't worn it in 2 years, I don't have to throw it out, but maybe put it in a box.
No, that's what
and put it away.
It's all in like I have a couple bins of the large storage bins.
Yeah,
it's just t-shirts.
I mean, I don't know. I just can't do it. And I was like, I can't be the only one.
Yeah, we're the same in that regard for sure. Yeah. But shorts, jeans, whatever, no issues. Like I can dump running shorts like left and right.
You not to change it from running gear I can get rid of.
Oh, but the life's
It's if it has a graphic tee, if it says something or
so like even if you have like a like a tank that you PR'd in or something. No.
Oh no, I'll keep that like sentimental stuff.
That's why there's attachment to it. I think a general piece of running gear doesn't have much attachment to it.
Yeah, like if it's just
it's also we're like constantly getting more gear.
Plus, also the running stuff smells after a while.
I wore it last week, a pair of Nike shorts that I have from when I started running. I still wear them.
Oh I have those navy blue Van Cortlandt shorts that are 6-7 years old.
Yeah, some of my Tracksmith stuff is like 5+ years old.
That's why I don't like when people complain about price. The Tracksmith stuff just holds up. Like you buy those $30 shorts, you'll have them for a year or two. The Tracksmith shorts, I'm going on six years on some of those. So
yeah,
I don't know. I might need to start going a little longer length. I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep rocking the short.
The 3 inches in March is just a horrible idea for everyone involved.
I agree.
Well, okay, so you took a picture when I fell down this week, and I was like, my legs are so white.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, jeez.
If you want to color grade it before you put it on the podcast,
just black and white. Yeah, so...
Just, like, Adobe has to have a spray tan setting, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
There's a filter.
Warming. That's called warming. Yeah, so before we get on to our running from this week, we want to say thanks to Susan Meir, who ended up sending us some cookies, Meg, and you got to try it. Matter of fact, I wish we had like a buzzer that we could send somebody down with them right now because I would eat one. But here's the crazy thing.
A buzzer to send someone down?
Yeah, like my grandma had.
Like a bell.
We need to
have a string going from the podcast studio up to upstairs with a bell on the end of it.
Okay, this is never happening.
Ding. Yeah, my grandmother had under her table, she had a buzzer that she could alert the kitchen that she wanted something.
Yeah.
But she would get intoxicated and couldn't find the buzzer. So she also had a bell. So you'd see her start sliding under the table looking for the bell.
This is a real thing?
Yeah.
Actual facts.
You'd see her sliding under the table trying to hit the buzzer. When she couldn't find it, all of a sudden you'd hear this. And yeah.
Dude, that's crazy. Awesome.
Yeah.
And
something.
Yeah. I didn't know that rich people have backup buzzers when they were
Yeah, you had to go manual bell.
That's amazing. Okay, so yeah, Susan made these chocolate chip cookies.
Okay, here's the thing. I started eating it before I found out. And Robbie, you have to say, typically, like if someone sends food, I'm not eating it.
Because they're homemade?
I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay.
But they're individually wrapped in cellophane, and they.
So it doesn't look homemade. So you were okay with it.
It looked like she's not. It's like a professional. I think she has a cookie business.
So, anyways, thanks Susan for that.
Yeah, Meg, we'll have to get you one before we leave.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, do you want to move on to our run or whatever?
Yeah.
Our Saturday morning run.
All right.
Run.
Yeah, might as well.
All right.
Hey, it also ties into the shoes that we'll be talking about today because both of us wore these shoes on the run. But it started off like a normal run. So we had on my schedule, I had 20-mile run with hills, and then the second half was supposed to be pick up the pace.
And I had a 16-mile run, which was like normal, like a little bit faster, but then faster towards the end.
Since HAT is coming up, your 50K is coming up this weekend. Is that a taper long run?
It's not really. It's kind of like I'm rolling everything into Boston, so it's like
what was your longest long run leading up to the 50K?
It wasn't like 18.
Really? That's crazy.
Yeah.
But
He does everything by time though.
Oh, okay.
So he's like, 230, 240, whatever. So
Like,
it's like
be out
whatever
there for.
whatever I get in that time. So, I include.
Do you like that?
I do I like time a lot more.
What is it like psychologically? What does that do for you?
It just says like, here's how much time I have to do a run. Like I just had to do that amount of time. I don't know. It's just
so you just turn around. Like, are you doing a lot of out and backs where you like if it's 2.5 hours, you turn around at 1:15?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically. So or not necessarily. I still have a general idea of the mileage, and sometimes I do go over it. Like I think a lot of my long runs I did go over the amount of time. Like it was 220, I do 240 or something. Like because I stop to drink, do a gel, whatever. So
or help somebody on the ground who's fallen and can't get up.
Yeah. So I did like 6 miles beforehand this Saturday, and like an idiot, I carry a vest with me a lot of times, and so I like on a long run, and I knew I was meeting you. You live a block away from my house.
Yeah.
So the first 6 miles, I'm like, all right, let's do this. And then I'm like running with a vest for 6 miles and came right back to my house without using any part of the vest.
Yeah.
I was like so angry with myself.
You were rucking.
Yeah. It's like completely pointless. And then honestly, I really didn't even need it for the rest of the run because then it was 10 more miles. So I could have just used a handheld. And so I met you and Jarrett after I did 6 miles, and then we headed out, and we were trying to get hills.
And we have a great route to do a hilly run because it's basically 10 miles uphill.
Yeah.
And then the nice thing is, especially for
downhill.
trying to be, it's a lot more downhill on the way back, which honestly, when we get to like mile 9 and you're still climbing uphill, you're kind of like, enough. Like just this, I've done it. I get it. I got the hills in.
Yeah.
And it's just a slow grind uphill. It's like pretty much almost all the way uphill the whole time.
Yeah.
And so you turn around and it just feels like, let's go. Let's finish this run. Let's finish up. So it makes for a grueling first half, but it makes for a speedier second half. So it's nice.
Yeah. Although I took I'm trying to get even more hills because of 50K, because of Boston. So when I came back, I went east on Preston Street.
I have no idea how you would even go home. Like when you turn that way, I was like, I guess it's in that direction.
You just have to keep going east until you basically hit a dead end that goes south. But there's giant hills going that way.
Oh, wow.
Like, because if it's not running back down the harbor.
A safe area?
No.
Okay.
No, it's actually one of the most
it.
unsafe areas in Baltimore, which more on that later. But all right, so we were at mile
3.7.
Okay, yeah.
I know exactly because I had to stop my Garmin.
All right. Yeah.
Or my Coro, sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're running and everything's okay. Robbie and Jarrett are chatting away and I'm just kind of zoning out, listening to them. And we're crossing a street and it's one of those cement things where it looks flat, but there's like ripples in the pavement.
Yeah.
And I didn't catch like the little wave. And normally if I fall or trip, I'll do a quick roll or I'll find my feet, like get back my feet underneath of me. But for some reason, and you can still see it on this shoe.
Oh yeah.
Where I caught
road rash.
Yeah, where I caught the toe. Like I caught it, that's the top of the foot. Like and my feet, it was almost like a ski accident where my feet went up behind me. And I went to brace my fall with my arms. And when I landed, my shoulder popped out, which has never happened. And I used to ski like all the time. Popped out. And when I got on the ground, one, it was tremendously painful. But I saw my shoulder up on my chest. And so an immediate reflex was to just...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The immediate reflex was to just take this hand and slam it against it because it was like gross. It was like popped up. And the closest feeling I can say that it felt like is if you're ever pulling a turkey leg off of a turkey, that like that sinewy, like rubbery pop.
Yeah.
Like it just slid back in.
Nice.
And I was like, I don't even know if I got it all the way in, but it made like kind of a suction cup sound in my head. It's like back in. And immediately I didn't want to get off the ground. I don't know how long I was on the ground, but it felt like an eternity.
Yeah, I mean, when I first saw you do it, it was so weird because it looked very slow motion.
So you saw it happen?
Yeah, because he was right beside me. And it just seemed very slow motion, the whole thing, and then falling to the ground. And then when you rolled over on your back, you were still halfway in the middle of the road, and I was like, dude.
I know, they were like, you got to get out of the road. And I'm like, I'm comfortable.
Yeah, like not moving. And surprised, it's a pretty busy road, and there was nobody that came. But I was like, yeah, you were there for a while, because I was like, we need to like kind of move, because there is a bit of a, not a blind turn, but like cars are crazy.
I had never hit the ground so hard before. Like I was like laying there just going, fuck.
Did you think it was as bad as it was when you saw him fall?
No, because it didn't look like the fall didn't look that bad. Like it looked like a fall, but it wasn't like like I don't know. So and then you were like bleeding everywhere.
Well, that's the thing. They're like you're bleeding, and I'm like, where am I bleeding? And I'm like looking around like this. It was the tip of my thumb. You can still see it.
Yeah.
The tip of my thumb was cut open like an impact. Like it's like it hit the ground so hard that the skin burst open. And blood was shooting out. So they're like, you're bleeding. I'm like, where? And, you pull your hands to the side to see. And, so I can't see it, but there's blood on my shirt and stuff like that. So,
well, what's funny is that I got a photo. So Thomas calls me and he's like, you got to come pick me up. I dislocated my shoulder. And I'm like, what? And then 30 seconds later, he's like, never mind, I'm going to keep running. But then I get a photo from you, Robbie, in like this group chat while I'm not doing my run. And it's Thomas on the ground and like Jarrett handing him a Band-Aid.
Well, that was like, the crazy thing.
Didn't he have a dislocated shoulder? Like
both these guys had Band-Aids on them.
Yeah, that it was crazy, because I had, I think when I did the Super Bowl trail race, I took some Band-Aids because Rye did it with me. So I was like, if he falls, like I'll have some Band-Aids. And sometimes I just try to bring some first aid with me just in case. But yeah, we both, Jared also had Band-Aids. So now we're the Band-Aid boys.
Yeah. But what was crazy was
tough crew name now.
Yeah, that's tough.
All right, Meg, I have difficulty with certain things anyway. With fluids of any kind. Yeah. Like Robbie's touching my finger and it's blood.
Well, I assumed you didn't have any
diseases.
Yeah. Actually, I don't know why I assumed that.
Yeah. So my first thing was I was like, it's over. I got to go home. Like I was in pain. And then I was like, my legs are fine. I don't want to have to go back out tomorrow and finish this run.
Dude, there's nothing worse than like a 3 mile. Like it doesn't even count as anything.
No.
If you do a 3 mile run.
No, it's
on
like
a long run day.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had adrenaline going. I don't know, like hitting the ground, busted up, pushing the shoulder back in, like adrenaline started going. So I was like, I don't want to call it. I'm going to run. And if I have to call Megan back in a little while, but then I called Megan and she's like, if you're not going to run, you better let me know now, because I'm going to go out for my run and I won't be able to come get you. So I was like, screw it. I'll just run, see what happens. And I was fine for about half a mile, and then the adrenaline wore off. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this really hurts. But then I was like, yeah, but if I'm thinking about that, it didn't hurt so bad to run. So I was like, I'll just go on that. And Jarrett and I ended up running up, and we turned around in the downhill once we got to the, so just about 6 more miles uphill. And then we turned around and we were able to come back. And there was something that was satisfying about knowing that I was going to finish the run that I was pretty happy with.
Yeah.
So I just ran home. Megan wasn't home when I got there. And I filled up the tub with Epsom salt, which probably they said to put ice on it, but I was like,
I do heat.
I was like,
I don't follow the rules.
I was like, I just want to lay in a hot bath right now. So I did that. And then I ended up ordering a sling, because like everything's like immobilize it and do this, but it's on my right arm.
Yeah.
Which I do everything with.
Right.
So I kept taking the sling off to like drive the car, or taking the sling off to use my computer, or so like yesterday I like wore the sling in the office. I had it on for all of like 10 minutes and just was like, okay, I'll do that. So Megan's, sick at home.
Yeah.
I'm in, every time I rolled over at night, I would wake up. I showed you my sleep chart. It's like up, like every like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was starting to feel better. And last night I was like, maybe I'm okay. And this morning I like rolled over and I guess I was half asleep. So I did my normal, like bring my arms above my shoulders, like to rest your head on. And when I did it, the shoulder popped out again.
Nice.
So I'm like screaming and Meg's like, what?
Say, shut up.
Pretty much.
Stop having nightmares.
Yeah. But, so, I mean, it's hard to put on a jacket. It's hard. Like I have to like change.
So what do? You just, whatever.
Taking it off. I do this sleeve first, the left side.
Yeah.
And then pull it over my head and slide it down the other arm.
So, but how does it get better?
I guess time, yeah.
Okay.
Like I think the immobilizing it, but then I was talking to somebody at the brewery and they were like, if you don't move your shoulder around, you'll get like a frozen shoulder.
Ice man.
So I'm like, okay, I better move it. And then everything else is like, keep it immobilized.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I've been running on it.
This is, I mean, I just ignore all the advice and just do whatever I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's like what we all do here.
Yeah. I feel a little nauseous sometimes, but it passes.
Dude, it's like an infirmary here at Believe in the Run. Like it's like your D-Day, but for runners.
Yeah.
Like, cause Helen in our office manager, she found out she has a stress fracture. So she's in a boot. Obviously I'm probably going to roll my ankle tomorrow.
Let's wait till the half.
Definitely
50K.
during the 50K, it'll happen.
All right. Second check-in. Yeah. That excitement's worn off. Motivation is hard. You start thinking to yourself, can I do this? Why'd I do this? You're in the middle of it. You're in that sludge spot. You're in that just hard to get motivated to get out the door. And you're like, I don't know why I did this. And you're thinking, maybe I made a mistake. But I'm going to tell you right now, you didn't. And I'll explain why when I come back for the third check-in. All right, let's take a little hydration break, Meg.
Today's sponsor is, again, Element.
I'm drinking it right now.
We love drinking it all the time. Thomas is drinking it right now. And some of the benefits of the electrolyte beverage are that it maintains steady energy. It improves your cognitive function. You suffer from fewer headaches, which Robbie can attest to.
100%. It's a game changer in that department after a long run.
You experience fewer muscle cramps, which I can attest to for sure. And it helps your performance in general.
Yeah, and I've got a couple special recipes for you. Definitely try mixing it with club soda or sparkling. What do you call it? Seltzer water?
Sparkling water.
Yeah. Try it with that over ice. Pretty good.
It's a nice treat.
If you want a little hydration treat and a little kick, you can even mix this with a little bit of vodka or tequila. Make your own ranch water. It's pretty good. But I use it for pretty much everything.
All right. And if you want to get some Element yourself, you can actually get a free sample pack with any order if you use our link, which is drinklmnt.com/thedrop.
Now back to the show.
But
Dude, maybe you should wear those Decker's X boots.
yeah, well, I was thinking I was going to wear something that's like more stable. And I was like, you know what? I'm probably going to roll my ankle anyway. I might as well just wear the most unstable.
What are you going with, the
racing
Adidas?
shoe. I do really want to wear this Terex Speed Ultra. So, but then I had worn the Nike Ultra Flies to the Baltimore half marathon and then like forgot them there. And Mac from Faster Bastards still has them. And he was like, I got to get those shoes back to you. And I was like, you should bring them to the hat. Maybe I'll wear them. That would actually be kind of.
Wait, you wore those during the half?
No, I wore them just to like bike
get
there.
Okay.
So I was thinking of that, but I also have the new Hoka Speed Goat 6, which I need to test out. So also maybe I'll wear that for like half the race.
When you look at hat as a course for a 50K, it's actually really well set up to do more than one shoe. Like there's been times where when it was wet out, especially, and it sounds like it might be wet this time, I brought two different shoes. So the first one, it was raining and then the rain stopped. So I was able to switch socks and shoes because it comes through a station. Basically you loop through one like picnic table area 3 times and that's where your bag drop is. So I've during that race, I've changed like socks and everything.
That's what I did last time. I was gonna change shoes, but I didn't feel. I stayed with the Caldera that I was wearing last time, which honestly, that would also be a great shoe for this course. So maybe even that. But
I mean, this one's really dependent. If it's dry, you can almost run in a regular running shoe.
right. But
if
it looks like it's going to be raining.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to want cleats.
But so did I tell you what happened after I left you guys on the long run?
No.
Maybe
did you find another dead animal with money all over it?
It sounds like he was going through non-good areas.
Yeah. So ever since I uploaded my stuff to the City Strides to see, just the run every street thing, I've just consciously been like, okay, I haven't ever run that
this
street,
direction,
so I'll just do that. Not intentionally doing the whole map, but just I'll do a new street. And I've never run west to east in Baltimore through East Baltimore higher up, which is really one of the worst parts of Baltimore. And so I thought I'll just right where I peeled off from you, I just went full east the whole way back, as far as you can go down really close to Highlandtown. And again, there's some giant hills I did not realize they were there. And I was trying to push the pace. So I felt really great. The whole time I felt awesome. And so I took a gel, and it was it was a Morton, but it was how they warm up and they're real syrupy.
Yeah.
And it's just right after I took it, it was okay.
Did you throw up?
No, I had to take a shit.
Oh.
And so I was and of course I'm in a place where there's a synagogue and then some business buildings, but everything's wide open, and it's a Saturday, so the synagogue's closed, right? They don't do things on Saturday, right?
There's so many different versions of.
Okay. Anyways, it was closed, and I'm literally, I'm gonna go right now. And there is.
Did you do a hate crime?
I had no. Yeah, luckily I was I'm gonna show up on camera. It's they're gonna be who's this guy with a vest trying to break into a synagogue?
Okay, imagine you end up using their parking lot as a restroom, and somehow people are and it's just you taking a bad Morton and needing to go to the bathroom, and you end up on a list.
Yeah, instead of free Palestine, I was trying to free intestines. Yeah. And so I ended up going. There was an abandoned. I had passed an abandoned building that looked like it had some corners that could be used. But I went. This is insane. So I'm at the synagogue, and there's a bush, and it has
Was it burning?
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, it was after this. No, and it was had a brown paper bag, and I was
Did you check the paper bag?
no, I was I'm gonna need to use this.
Oh no, dude, that can't be gentle. That is not Charmin.
There's no other options here.
Okay.
And so I grab the bag out of the bush, and then I look as I'm retrieving this trash from out of the bush.
You see a pile underneath of it?
No, I look up, and there's Grace Hominy and Grace. I forget the other Grace last name. Anyways, they're two girl runners from Believe Run Club that are right at the corner and look at me as I'm coming out of this bush, and I was hey guys, what's going on? And you have to understand, no runners go where I was at.
Yeah, what were they doing?
I guess they take Washington Street north when they do a big loop. Okay. So they actually do run through there, which is crazy. But I've never seen anyone on Strava maps, really. Very few people run in that area. And I was what are the chances that they're... And I couldn't explain myself.
Were you just finishing?
No, I hadn't yet.
Oh, yeah, and started?
But I'm
Did you say words to them?
I just said hi, and they were I saw them on Sunday, and they were yeah, we were he's either picking up trash or he just went to the bathroom. I was yeah, both. And then there was a guy sitting at a bus stop right there, and I was he's going to see me go to this other building. So I'm I'm going to just make a loop around this block and see if there's anywhere else. And it's just houses and openness. There's nothing. And so I was like, well, I just had to go back to that building. So ran as fast as I could. And there's like a brushy area where frequented by drug users and homeless people. Yeah, that's a spot.
Can I see it?
On the Strava map. You can see where I'm trying to find a bathroom.
Oh, God.
And so anyways, all that said, obviously I went to the bathroom. It was like one of the worst.
Can you imagine having to go that bad during a run?
Dude, it had to be the worst one I think I've had. And so, but here's what I'm wondering.
This is me though. A week ago, I had to do one at the Wednesday run.
Oh yeah, it's the same idea. So I'm wondering on our last long run. Remember when I was like, I had to go to the bathroom too, and I had to go to the DoubleTree Hotel. Well, like I really never.
Do you think Morton's are a problem?
That's what I'm wondering because it's this batch of I don't know if it's this batch of Mortons.
Are they expired?
No, I hope not. I just got them like last week.
Oh, then yeah, they should be fine.
But I'm wondering if it's I usually take Goose or Goo Roctanes or even the Morton Calves, but this is the regular black ones.
Huh.
Do you think it's because it's warmed up like that? Like it's all like
maybe, but I have an issue with the Mortons for a different reason.
Okay.
So I've been using the Untapped for the
syrup things,
maple
syrup.
I really like those because they're liquid, so it's like easy to get them down. Mm-hmm. You get the punch from it. It has salt in it and everything like that. So I like Mortons don't have salt, but I kind of like them. The Untapped. And what was nice was, I've been saying that I've been using them, and I've been posting in my Instagram that I've been using them.
But so mad about
they contact Megan out of the blue saying, "Hey, we saw your muffin recipe. Would you like some Untapped?" Meanwhile, I'm paying for it.
That's hilarious.
But you're welcome. I gave them to you.
I know. I hijacked it all.
Yeah. They need to hook us up. But yeah, I don't know. I guess what I like about Morton's is that it's like right away. It's like energy, and also apparently
it loosens everything up.
But I never really had that problem before. Maybe it was just like that day. I did eat I think like a spicy pizza the night before, but that's also like every Friday night.
It's interesting though because the Morton, the whole premise behind it is encapsulated in that hydrogel, so it should not affect you. But I don't know. I wouldn't. I'm gonna be nervous though.
I'm gonna be nervous though. Do I take that for a hat or not?
I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. All right.
What's something that works? Just stick with that for a hat.
Honestly, Goose never.
Yeah.
Never second. I like as well. I like the Morton bars. I really like those.
The granola bars?
I do.
Dude, it's a chewy.
I know.
It is a chewy bar.
I like them. They're so good.
Dude, I hate that I like them.
That is putting lipstick on a pig right there.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, that was like a crazy run. That the whole thing on Saturday was just, but the weather was absolutely perfect. It was a beautiful day.
Meanwhile, Jared had no issues.
Yeah.
Like
just
trucking. It did get a little warm towards the end. I don't know how much longer I guess because you were cutting back then.
It was pretty close. I mean, you probably only finished a half an hour later because I was late on my run.
Okay. It started to warm up and I was just like,
I was out there after you guys. It was warm.
When we started, I was like, oh, this would be great if this was like Boston. Clear. It was like 40, mid to high 40s. But by the end of the run, the sun and it's weird because we've had wind like for a week, and that was the one day that was kind of like not so windy.
Yeah, it was pretty nice. Anyways,
I was really glad that I did do the finish the run because the next day, like my shoulder hurt a lot more. So
yeah, obviously you took off that day.
No,
for real?
Yeah, no. I had an 8-mile run, and so I did that, but I just keep my arm real close to me and just kind of shuffle. But
you need to get a straight jacket.
That's pretty much. I was trying to think if I had anything that would do sort of that, but I don't.
You threw yours out after their.
I mean, I guess I could
third stay at the asylum.
Do a vest and put it inside the vest.
Yeah. It's probably a piece of Satisfy apparel that actually
for sure
is a sling
for this exact purpose.
Silver shell sling.
Yeah.
Remember when we were talking last week about the Boston Marathon medal and how bad it is? Somebody sent in this medal to me that, can I show it to you? Because it is literally the worst medal I've ever seen in my entire life.
Know.
It was from the Cape Cod Marathon last year.
It's a shirt?
It's a shirt.
So they turned the shirt into a medal?
Dude, it's a long sit for those listening. It's a long sleeve t-shirt that is a medal with like it's the shirt.
It's like when they do
it's the mock-up of
the mock-up of the shirt as a medal.
Wait, I like the caption too. Is every Monday Medal Monday? We think so. Make sure to keep celebrating your achievements whenever you can.
Oh, that's weird.
That's really bad.
It looks like a keychain you buy at the beach at like what's the
that you throw away 6 months later.
Tourist stores.
Yeah. That's really bad.
Yeah, and that was literally 6 months ago. So
you know, I was thinking about it was kind of cool. The LA Marathon did the Shamrock because it was on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I thought Nike did really well was they did a shoe trade-in.
Oh yeah.
Which I thought this was brilliant because of two things. One, it gets people all walking around in Nikes at a running event. But two, it let the consumer know what product was equivalent. So it said, like, if you have the Ghost or the 880 or like it went down the other brands' shoes,
competitors,
and said you can exchange those. Doesn't matter how old they are, you can exchange those for a brand new pair of Pegasus. And it was like, if you have the Clifton or the 1080 or, whatever, the Nova Blast, you can exchange for an Invincible.
Yeah.
So it was like, here's the Nike equivalent of what you're wearing. And I thought,
it's
wow.
Smart. Yeah.
Like, think about that. Like, because we hit it all the time. People don't know, like, oh, this shoe or that shoe. It's like, it had a list. It was like a menu. And you just traded in. So brand new shoes, you feel good. You like the brand. You're wearing them around. That's great. And you also know and could recommend to friends, okay, oh, you like that shoe? You should be wearing this Nike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought it's kind of like what they did for the trials a little bit, but I mean, just giving
away Alpha Fly.
Yeah, not quite, but yeah, that's a good idea. I went to Meg, somebody asked, I think it was on the podcast post on Instagram, what water bottle you use.
Speed Draw.
Yeah, the Nathan Speed Draw.
Speed Draw. Right? Don't get the Nathan Quick Draw. That's the battle.
Right.
Although I think they fixed the problem that last year. Because remember that sleeve would fall off and stuff.
Yeah.
I think they re-engineered it this year, so it's better. So
I don't know.
We're supposed to be getting it in.
Tom Hovey, who we've had on as a guest on the podcast, this morning asked me what water bottle. And so I told him to get the Nathan Quick Draw.
Yeah.
Or Speed Draw.
Speed Draw.
Yeah. I said, Megan swears by the Nathan Speed Ball. How much is it?
It's $38 on Amazon.
Do you know how much it was in England?
Probably. I feel like Nathan doesn't have a presence there, so it's probably like double that or something.
75.
Dude, what? That's
75
I mean, 38 is ridiculous.
It is too, because I toss it
at
the end of a marathon.
But then, did you use the Hydro Pack one?
I did.
Like the handheld thing?
I did.
Okay.
I like that one. The thing I like about it, like typically I don't love the soft Hydro Pack ones.
Yeah.
But I've used it now for an 18, a 20, and another 20.
Yeah.
So I've done 2 20s and an 18 with it. I like it, but I think it's because I like the handle that, is that Ultimate Direction?
What for what?
Who sent us that one?
Just Hydro Pack.
That's the brand.
Oh, that's
the brand.
And Hydro Pack makes them for everybody though.
Yeah, they do like outsource to other brands like Norda and Satisfy and stuff. Or
I'll
whatever,
use Hydro Pack.
Yeah, Patagonia, but they have their own like proprietary.
Okay,
like,
so the one that
bottles.
I have that I like in the gear, it has that little thumb ring and that. The reason I like that one is because I think it's easier to hold than any other configuration that I've seen for a soft flask.
Yeah, I think it is the best one. Yeah.
And the other thing I like about it is it has, like, if you were racing with it, and I actually used this when we were running the 20-mile last weekend. So you have the part that's your mouthpiece that has that little like nipple on it that you drink from. But then it also has like a little lever, like a little latch on the side that you can pop open, and it's got a white, like you don't have to unscrew it and screw it back on.
Yeah.
You just pop open the top and it's got like a quick fill access, and then you just snap it back down.
Yeah. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. And so I've been liking that. How much does that run?
That's $30. So it's cheaper. And you can, the nice thing about the salt flasks is also they're easy to pack, a lot easier.
Yeah.
They don't take up space in your.
I've been using the little tip you gave me where you kind of blow back into it so that it's because it does when you drink out of it, and then it gets like just like a empty sock.
Yeah.
It's like
it is the worst carrying around like just a lid or whatever. So you have to reinflate it to keep it shape. But otherwise, it's a nice little setup they got.
And again, I'll give Untapped another little bit of love. I used their, they have like a mix that you can put in with your water. That just has a little bit of salt and electrolytes.
Did you tell everyone that Jared just took it to the face without water?
Yeah, Jared's not smart though. So we gave him a pack and he thought it was like a goo. And so he did one. He's like, this is horrible.
Nice.
Then he read you're supposed to mix it with 12 ounces of water. But
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Is it like dehydrated syrup or something? Like
no, I don't know how much maple syrup's actually in it.
Okay.
It's more like salt and electrolytes.
I got
stuff
you.
like that.
I really like Untapped's, what are those, Stroop waffles?
You do?
Yeah.
So I ate one of the chocolate ones. I don't think anybody's mastered the chocolate Stroop waffle.
Theirs are a little bit crumbly.
All of them are. Nobody's done a good job on the chocolate one.
They have a coffee one that's pretty
so
nice.
Good, yeah.
Really? Now you guys make me want.
That's the one.
I'll just have one of those Susan Muir cookies.
At the running event when I dipped it in the ice cream and combined the two.
I have to tell you,
that was actually one of the best things I've ever eaten.
And I will tell you, their marketing works because I kind of fell in love with them after having that ice cream from the
TRE.
From TRE, and I was like, I really do like this maple flavor.
They have good branding too.
Yeah.
But
they could do. You know what's not good? Their packaging. Because not because it's not easy to use. It's great, easy to use packaging. It opens easily. Mm-hmm. They have like plaids on it and stuff, and then they just use the same color text over the plaid and stuff like that. Like I can't read anything on them.
Yeah, I feel.
And it's the worst trying to. I'm handing him to Megan. Can you make out this word? How much water am I supposed to mix?
But that's
with
everything now.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if I could ask Untapped, just fix your type on top of like, don't be putting it on top of plaids. Don't be putting it like similar colors.
You could also just get glasses.
It's true. Yeah, make your type bigger. I need it. I need like a 14-point type.
While we're on products, Element I know is a sponsor of this podcast, but they've been saving my life during this cold, and I've been actually doing your mixture of the bubbly water and the Element to get the sodium.
Tell me it's not so good.
It really is.
It's like, almost like a soda.
It kind of tastes like that poppy. Have you had the poppy soda?
No, I haven't had that. I have the Spindrift.
No, that doesn't have any sugar in it or anything, right?
It has a tiny bit. At least the one that I get.
The poppy is supposed to be like prebiotics and healthy, whatever.
Okay.
It's like 25 calories or something. Anyway, this mixing the Element with the bubbly water is 10 out of 10.
You have to kind of do it slow though.
Yeah, you can't. I don't use their amounts.
Because it does like a chemical reaction, like all the fizz.
Like a volcano in
pretty much. So you got to kind of slowly add it in. But yeah, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
Nice. Let me get to, I've also been smashing Element like whenever I feel bad so it's still awesome. And I told you that. I brought it to Florida.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Oh, we tried your party.
Party Smart?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you actually like get drunk enough or like drink enough to make it worth it?
I think so. Okay. I did anyway.
No, because I had like a drink and a half on Saturday night, but like I was getting sick.
Yeah.
So I was like, this isn't a real test.
Yeah.
So I don't normally drink beer.
Yeah.
And we did the beer thing on Sunday.
Yeah. St. Patty's Day.
Yeah. And I took it. And then when I was home, I had a cocktail after that.
Okay.
And maybe a little wine.
Uh-huh.
So like 3 or 4 beers.
Yeah.
Martini.
Pretty sure you had another martini after that.
Okay. Yeah.
And a glass of wine.
Uh-huh.
And I had taken the pill. and I slept fine and did not have a hangover the next day. Himalaya, party on. But the thing was, it's weird. Yeah, I didn't have the hangover feeling, but I didn't feel good. And I'm like,
I also don't think you get good, like, I don't think it stops you from getting good, like, bad sleep. I still think you get bad sleep.
Yeah,
because it's not, that's not like,
it's hard to tell because like this whole week I felt like nauseous, and I think
dude, also your arm was jacked
I know.
up,
I was like,
dude.
I feel like we need to like start at a playing field that's level where it's like we feel good at the start.
I recommend it to Meg's brother though, so he's trying.
Nice. Someone did say in our comments, like, I think on this podcast episode, they're like, it does work, but it also depends like when you take it. So I think you did it at the right time. But on the episode last week, I did ask thoughts on speakers blasting music during run.
Yeah.
And you can probably guess what the major consensus was.
The people are ridiculous who do that.
Yeah. Like the one girl, Julie, she was like, it's in poor taste. No one wants to hear intermittent blasts of your race playlist for 26 miles or 5K. Trust me, my playlist is an embarrassing mix of 90s ska and EDM. No one needs to hear it but me. That is true.
I'll bet you she got fire starter on there.
Oh, dude, I would put some Prodigy on there for sure.
Dude, have you gone back? It's weird because I remember when that came out, it seemed so like edgy and almost scary, like dangerous.
Remember the video had like
that's what I was going to say.
Stuff?
I don't know how I saw the video, but I saw the video recently. And I was like, this is ridiculous. It's like a clown show. You're like, this is ridiculous. This is nothing about this is hardcore or scary.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just like, it's so weird. It really depends on what's going on in the world for something to be like.
It is, for sure.
Yeah. Like, go back and watch that video.
Oh, yeah. It's hilarious.
And his haircut, like he basically has like a ball guy haircut with wings on the side.
Yeah, pretty much. And then I was watching, like, I'm in a deep Oasis algorithm, and so I'm just getting like Liam and Noel like post reels all the time.
I get the 80s pop synth and all that.
And I'm looking at, and let's be real, they're the coolest rock stars in the world, and probably the last real rock stars. But
what about Stone Temple Pilots, Scott Weiland? Like, I think he was.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But as far as just like the arena, like selling out, I mean, they played to like 400,000 people at Glastonbury or something ridiculous. Yeah. Like, but I was looking at the other two guys in the band. I'm like, they were not cool. Like they were like the one. I always forget the bass player's name. He was balding and wore like ridiculous clothes that were not rock starish. But like Liam and Noel were so cool that they could carry the whole rest of
the spotlight was on them.
Yeah.
Like there's dudes in the background, but you were like
I forget Paul.
I can't even picture.
Anyways.
Yeah.
But so someone else replied, only if it's Mr. Brightside on loop, which I can get behind that.
Yeah. I'm down.
That would work.
Yeah.
And I also like the Spoon song with the Tycho remix.
Okay.
Which one is
Turn
it?
my camera on?
No. Times, what's the name of that song?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah. I can listen to that one on repeat.
Yeah. Anyways, so, and then the other question that we had from last week, which I have to think of a question for this week, so keep that in mind. But it was...
I think it's a t-shirt question.
Oh, that's a good...
it should be an either or.
Okay. So I had, how important is a race medal to you? The options were, I live for Medal Mondays, nice but not necessary, or don't care at all. And 25% said they live for Medal Mondays.
Wow.
56% said nice, and 18% said they don't care at all. So pretty...
and I've actually been thinking about this one a lot, because I think the cool answer is to be like, I don't care. I think that's the cool answer. But I was thinking about like, it so depends on how many events you've taken part in. Like if you haven't run a marathon before and your goal is just to finish and to find yourself believing that you can actually do something. And let's face it, we're a little jaded. We've run a few marathons. We're like, yeah, I know I can probably run a marathon. But for a lot of people, especially when you're starting off, it's a scary thing.
Oh, yeah.
Taking on 26 miles in a race environment and going through. And you need as much motivation as you can to do the training and stuff. And the medal, if coming through and being able to show your family and your friends, your coworkers or whatever, hey, I did it, and here is proof that I did it.
Yeah.
I think there's something really charming and great that, it's not like a participation medal where it's like, because it's different. I think that when you sign up for a team sport and you do it, there is a idea that there's going to be a winner coming out of that.
Right.
And I think when you sign up for a marathon, a lot of times it's a personal.
It's you against you.
You know you're not winning.
Yeah.
You know you're not signing up for the marathon and going to win the Berlin Marathon.
It's the type of conflict, man versus himself or woman.
All right. Third and final check-in. We're talking about that excitement, that mellowing of the excitement, but now we're getting close to the event and the excitement starts ramping back up. Your fitness has gotten better. You're in shape. You're feeling better and stronger about running. Your relationship with running's probably changed. You're like, I can do hard things. I can get through this stuff. And you might start feeling a little excited for the event. You might be starting to feel that finish line coming. And that's the best part. So where you had that middle area where the excitement wore off, now it's coming back, but the best part is still to come. And it's crossing that finish line. And it's the joy and the satisfaction of reaching your goal, doing something you set out to do. And that is where the magic is in running and signing up for something that's tough or something that scares you. You're going to be excited. It's going to get hard. Then you're going to do it. And you're going to feel like the top of the world, like you're the king. So just remember that all the hard work you're putting in right now, it's going to pay off. You're going to have that spring marathon, that spring half marathon, that 5K. And when you cross that line, you realize you put the work in, you were good about it, and you sacrifice those mornings or those evening runs to get here. And you did it. You've done it. You've reached your goal. There's no better feeling.
Yeah, sorry. While we were talking, I was like, Instagram popped up with this eagle stuck to the grill of someone's car.
All right, but
and
you know
lived,
what?
It survived.
Megan's gotten an Instagram ad, newsflash, that she is prepared to drop money on.
No, I almost did, but I didn't.
Oh, really?
It's called, what was it?
Shark blanket?
Cozy Shark Blanket. My Cozy Shark Blanket.
My cozy shark blanket.
Showed up in my feed.
Google that
and
right
it's
now,
like
Robbie.
a super soft blanket, but it
That
has like a
zips
shark
up and you're a
face
shark.
on it. And the best is when you lay down flat, like it's just like a.
Did you already find it? Yeah.
I was like, I kind of do want this.
I was like, if you get that, I would love it because then you have to do the podcast in it.
Dude, you should.
It's on sale. It's 60% off. $155.
Of
now
course
only
it is.
62.
Everything on Instagram is 60%
Right.
off, right?
Yes.
And here's what got me. The other day I went and looked at headphones because I've always wanted a pair of the over the head noise canceling earphones.
Yeah.
Headphones.
Yeah.
And I just left the tab open because I was like, I'm not paying this much for this, whatever. And I left the tab open and I was closing tabs and I noticed that the price changed and it went lower.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. So they see you, they want to get you, they keep reeling
Come
you in
back.
with lower prices.
But they didn't even send me an email or anything. It's just that when I went to close the page, the price was lower.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, I wonder if I leave it up for another week, if it'll continue to get lower. So I left it up. It didn't get any lower, but they did get me. I ended up buying.
They already knew they had you. They didn't need to put it in.
They're like, he keeps looking at the page.
Dude, this Cozy Sharks business is wild. It's a whole store. Like they have
What else they got?
They have a wine dude, they have a wine glass. They're really set up for the suburban mom life here. They have a wine glass, which I don't know how that's cozy. I guess it makes you sink.
Oh, it has the shark in it, remember?
Oh,
Rachel got me one of those.
Here's the thing
Okay.
that's going to happen is Shark Week's going to come. And one of the moms is going to be like, oh, we can have a Shark Week party.
There's a bed for Ralphie.
Dude,
There's a pet bed.
A pet bed where they sleep in the shark's mouth.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, I would sleep in
Maybe
that.
he would stay off the bed if we did that.
Doubtful.
Yeah.
Megan's reverted to making like a pillow fort around her so that Ralphie can't sleep on her.
It's working.
No, it's not working because what he does is he sleeps on my legs.
Nice.
Everybody wins.
Mission
No,
accomplished.
my arm doesn't work. I'm not comfortable up top. My legs can't move because there's a dog on it. It's the worst.
Man. Okay. So might be diving into the shark biz.
You know, Meg, how many miles with your cold? How many miles are you supposed to be getting done this week?
92.
Isn't that crazy, Robbie? I'm like running
Gotta give it
the
the good old
most
college
miles
try.
per week that I've done in a long time, and I'm not even close to Meg. I'm 65 every week.
Does
now.
that make you freak out if you're not going to make your goal or whatever?
I mean, I don't know. I tried to go out and run this morning and it didn't happen. So I'm kind of like,
I've never seen Megan bail on a run.
I never have either. That's why I was like, wow.
I bailed on my workout this past week in California.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
I'm
just
malfunctioning.
She's probably like, can we just stop this podcast? Because I'm
Watch
feel like
what's going to
shit
happen
right
is
now.
Robbie's going to become a super dedicated runner.
No,
Meg's
please.
going to be like,
Please get
I don't
better."
think I'll run.
please
The
heal.
universe is broken.
Yeah, I will tell you the high mileage for me the last few weeks has been great because I've been able to just cruise through shoes. And I did the 100-mile for the New Balance Rebel V4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like 15 miles away from being able to do that for the Cielo X1.
Wow.
And so
What's the
been
shoe
great.
you got here?
And this one, yeah, I already have 30 miles on this guy, and we just got it last week. I did an 28 miles. I did an 8-mile run, and then I did the 20-mile on Saturday on it. And the 8-mile run, I was like,
Can you tell everyone what you're talking about?
yeah, I don't know because it's spelled wrong on the shoe.
It is.
It's the craziest thing. We took pictures of it, and I'm like, is this how you spell this?
Spelled the name of the shoe wrong.
Yeah.
It's the TYR Valkyrie Elite.
Yeah, TYR. They are a brand that's more familiar if you're in the tri zone or in swimming. They've been in swimming forever, I feel like. But they've finally made a shoe. I'm guessing that they're making a race day shoe so that if you're a tier athlete and you're running triathlons, this would be your shoe to finish up in. But it's the TYR Valkyrie Elite Carbon. And it's kind of insane to me that somebody who's, I don't know them for any shoes at all, they can come out, put out a race day shoe, which I think is right in there with.
I was gonna say it looks nice.
Yeah, it performs. What I would say it's closest to is the Saucony
Pro.
Endorphin Pro, but it's about the same weight as theirs. It fits right in there with the Saucony Endorphin Pro, the Gara Carbon from Diadora, the New Balance SC Elite V4. There's like a whole bunch of shoes now that are really
So I'm guessing
good.
it's a full slab of PIBA, a carbon fiber plate,
Yeah.
some rubber on the outsole there.
Yeah, and actually the outsole is kind of reminiscent of the Pro, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you got a carbon plate packed into PIBA foam, lightweight upper. The upper actually fits really, really well.
That tongue looks very minimal.
It's a minimal tongue, but it's gusseted on the side or saddled
Nice.
in there. And yeah, I mean, it's lightweight upper. It's got padding around the collar. Like it's a little more built up than I'd say some of them,
Yeah.
but
It looks like it would almost function as a super trainer.
yeah. And that's the thing where, do you know what's crazy about the word super trainer?
Is that you started it?
Well, I don't think it was, I don't know how it started, but it started in these three people that we're sitting with. And we started talking about super trainers. And now I've noticed that like major running outlets have adopted super trainer.
Are you talking about Runner's World?
Oh, definitely. But also, like, I just feel like everyone uses super trainers
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And we definitely, because I remember when we made the video, we're like,
We're calling them
we're going to
super
call
trainers.
these super trainers.
Yeah.
And now they're super trainers. But the point that I'm getting at, besides that we're awesome, is I'm finding it, the shoes have gotten so good at that end super trainer and above that when you have to wear like a basic running shoe now,
Yeah, it's hard.
yeah, you're like, why, if we have these here, why are we still making these down here? And there are some exceptions. I do think there's some simple shoes out there that work really well. But yeah, like especially when I'm trying to get Miles on to do a review or see how a shoe works, and you go from a shoe like this back down to like a regular shoe, you're kind of like, why aren't we all like, and I get it. And there's people want to say shouldn't run with plate all the time. Like Mizuno, every one of their shoes had plates in it, and if people ran like those were fine, I guess, to run in. Maybe they're more flexible with than the carbon fiber plates. But yeah, it's just, to me, it's like these for 20 miles. I feel great. I finished up the run.
Yeah.
My legs felt great.
Recovery is easier.
Yeah, like these are fantastic.
Nice.
And so, yeah, a brand that may not be on your radar, like TYR,
Yeah.
you're going to check out. But Robbie, you're running in something that's also not on people's radar.
Yeah, it's this new brand. We saw them at the running event called Mount to Coast. They're based out of Hong Kong, I believe. It said they had some of their designers are formerly from ASICS and Nike. Their whole idea behind their shoes is they're supposed to be used for ultra marathon road racing, which is a very specific niche. So, I mean, they have two shoes, the R1 and the S1. The R1 fits me. The S1 was a little too big, so Ryan is going to review that. But I ran with this 16 mile. I've done 2 long runs in it, like 16 miles each. And I was pretty surprised by how much I liked the ride of it. It's crazy lightweight. It's like 7.5 ounces.
Well, that was a question I had for you. The shoes stack height, considering that it's for ultra,
yeah,
it's not a super high stack height.
I forget what it actually is, because it's weird. We don't have like the full spec sheets. I think they did send something in the shoebox, but I left it at home. But it's a little lower. It's not super high stack. It's probably like in the mid 30s millimeters. But it has this cool lace closure system where it has like a bungee style.
Like a dual lace system.
Actually, it's not bungee. It's just a lace. But it's a dual lace system where in the forefoot, you have like a toggle thing where you can lace that up. And then in the top half of the shoe, it has just normal lacing.
So the thought process behind that is, if your foot's expanding during an ultra, you could quick release the front and kind of like take some pressure off the foot.
Right. Yeah. And which I kind of like. I like that it's like the Speedland idea, but not with BOA.
Okay.
So, and then it has this interesting midfoot, like to forefoot piece that looks almost like an S, where it's supposed to provide more stability within the forefoot over longer distances, so you're not breaking down like your stride, or like your foot isn't. I guess they pinpointed which muscles like break down first or the most, and it's supposed to help support those. I did find that it is pretty stable. It is like when you're kind of like losing your stride isn't as good, it does feel like more stable. It's a nice shoe that rides nice. You can pick it up to go faster because of how light the shoe is. Super critical midsole.
There's no plate or anything, right?
No plate. I'm trying to think of like what shoe it reminds me of. It's like kind of like the Boston, maybe like the Adidas Boston.
So it's a little bit on the firmer side?
Maybe a little bit soft. I think it's a little bit softer, but it's definitely softer than that, but it's not a soft feeling shoe. Because it's a little bit a lower stacks. It's not like a max cushion shoe. Now, there are some things I hate about this shoe, which you probably know from running with me. It makes this weird clicking noise.
I haven't heard it.
You didn't?
No.
Really? Jarrett heard it, but it is.
What do you think the clicking's coming from?
I don't know, because
Could it be the toggle?
I'm thinking it might be like these gaps in this thing where it suctions almost.
Huh.
No, it's like it's underfoot.
Okay, so it's,
and it's because this isn't a hard piece right here.
yeah, it just looks like rubber.
Yeah. So I don't know where it's coming from, but it's super annoying. And actually, I guess Don Reichel they sent a pair to him to test out or something. And he said, or he tried them somewhere, and he said like he can't run them because of how annoying the sound is.
Oh wow.
It's pretty annoying.
But
that's crazy that you didn't notice it.
I didn't notice. Yeah.
And it doesn't really go away.
Nice.
So I would say that's probably the thing I didn't like about it.
I mean, that could get in the head of competitors, though.
That's true.
Or your own head.
Like, imagine you had to do a 50-mile race and the guy next to you is like, click, click, click,
Right.
click, click.
Or you're alone and you get to hear click, 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 click.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, look, there's so many shoes right now that are loud.
Yeah, Alpha 3 has a little squeaky noise going on. It's real nice.
And this, I wore this for that long run in the pouring rain. I thought it did pretty great. I oxy cleaned them up when I got home.
That was the best thing about this past run. It was the first long run that we had that wasn't raining
or windy or
Yeah.
terrible. So anyways, I think it's a pretty solid shoe. I'm probably going to write my review soon. It's $180, so it's a little more pricier. It's not on sale yet. I think it was on sale in April. And they just kicked off their Instagram like last week, so there's scant details on the shoe.
All right, so Megan loves white shoes.
Okay.
Do you feel like we're hitting like, okay, it's too many white shoes?
Never.
Yeah.
We're in the moment.
Even on the trail scene, there's
Live it up.
white. Everyone has a white shoe now.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I just feel like I'm looking at your shoe and this shoe
Just let me have this
and
time.
our pile of
Just
our
let me
shoes,
have
and I'm
it.
just like, they're all starting to look the same.
Oh, it is funny because when you wore those on Saturday, I was like, "Are we wearing this?" Oh no, we're not.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's white with black detailing, so yeah, they run together. But anyways,
Literally.
I think that's pretty much. I don't know. Do we have anything else we need to cover?
No, it feels like we
I
talked
feel
too
like that was
long.
a long one.
Yeah.
Was it a long one? Time flies when you're having fun.
Oh yeah, this is an hour and 25.
Yes.
Call
Yeah.
it. End
The
it.
bonus selection for you people.
Yeah. So, do we? Is there anything we need to announce coming up? I don't
Yeah.
think so. Oh, Cherry Blossom.
Well, we'll be at Cherry Blossom. We're getting our details finalized for Boston, but it looks like we'll be doing a shakeout run on Friday night with New Balance. Sunday, we will be having a shakeout run with ASICS. We've done pretty much the last 3 years. This will be our third year doing that. Believe me, both these events, we're going to have some unique and special Believe in the Run gear
We'll
that
also
is
be
limited.
at the New Balance store Saturday morning.
Yeah, and we designed a singlet that you'll be able to purchase at the New Balance store if you're so inclined. That's Boston specific. But
What's the socks?
the socks are really cool. So
Are those a giveaway or a buying?
giveaway.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there's a hat and a sock that's going to be available for giveaway at the New Balance Shakeout and possibly the store, depending on if people grab them, how many people show up to the Shakeout on Friday.
Okay.
And then we have a piece that I'm really excited about for ASICS on Sunday, which I'll just say you're going to see somebody wearing it and be like, where'd you get that? And you're going to wish you had one. So make your plans around the ASICS Shakeout run on Sunday for sure.
Sweet.
It's always a good time too. It's like a reunion. We see all the people that we've seen at other shakeout events and they're coming through.
It's the shakeout of all shakeouts.
Yeah, it is.
It's great.
And you're going to be on the same street with all the other brands, so you can visit all the other brands too while you're there. So it's great.
Definitely. Cool.
All right.
Oh, and Carl, we gave you a little extra work with editing this week, so enjoy. Thank you for doing it.
Bye, Ma.